So I'm going to do this quick video to show you how to check and adjust the secondary throttle position sensor on the 2004 and 2005 GSXR 600 and GSXR 750. So this is what the sensor looks like, and inside there are 3 connector pins. So here is my test throttle body in the fully closed position. I have the valves removed, so that's closed, that's open, and I have scavenged a connector from a trashed wiring harness. So you can see the wires in line, that's forward on the bike. So the 3 wires in line representing those 3 pins. I have my negative lead connected to the front pin. I have my positive lead connected to the center pin. This is very difficult to do on the bike without a test harness. You want to do this test with the wiring harness of the bike disconnected, because it will introduce other circuits to this test. And here's my meter set in the kilo ohm range. So this is the first test, forward pin and center pin. And regardless of what position I move my secondaries to, that value stays somewhere close to 5 kilo ohms. This upper value is not, or this full value is not very critical. As long as it's close to 5 kilo ohms, you should be fine. The next test, we're going to move our positive lead from the center pin to the rear pin. The rear pin and forward pin are now connected. The secondaries are closed, and I've got a reading of 1.45 kilo ohms. And I'm going to slowly open my secondaries, and you can see that value climb. It will climb fairly smoothly, linearly, all the way to full open, and again, end somewhere close to 5 kilo ohms. So here my secondary, that's this shaft, this is where the plate would be, is fully open, and I'm at 5.14. And I'm going to close, and fully closed, it stops somewhere between 1.45 and 1.50. This is the important value. If this was too low or too high, I would loosen the fixing screw and then adjust this sensor to get that reading between 1.45 and 1.5 kilo ohms. And that's it. Now, people do talk about the dash on the instrument cluster of the bike when they're in dealer mode and raising or lowering that with a TPS adjustment. That is not this sensor. The TPS sensor is actually mounted right there on the primary throttle shaft. It's an identical sensor, and you can adjust it on the bike. There is no such adjustment for the secondary. That's why you have to hook up a meter. Now, what we see when we have a bad sensor, I can simulate by connecting these 2 together. And now I've got a low reading, and as I raise it, it acts like it's normal, but I can never get the adjustment correct. But we'll also see adjustments that open load. That's bad on either circuit. We never want to see an open load or overload on our meter. We can see it connecting and then disconnecting and jumping around. That's bad. And then if it raises and then about halfway through starts to drop, that's also a sign that the sensor's shorted internally. So that's how you test a secondary throttle position sensor.